My life is like a living soap opera. Yes, can we stop the camera, please?
Let's give her a moment.
As tragic as some of the events were, the cameras never stopped rolling. It was all about the cash register ringing.
Her friends say when they talk to her, she's rushed off the phone.
Anna had a lot of people in her ear telling her things. She took my hand and she put it over on her stomach. She's pregnant. The next thing I know, she's taken off to the Bahamas.
It's catnip for all the tabloids. Who is the daddy?
I'm having a baby.
It was almost like another episode of her reality show.
She just started to cave in.
I just started screaming her name. I asked her, I said, baby girl, if you got anything in you, please come back.
Her death was this huge story. I mean, huge.
I haven't been to the storage in years, to be honest. Daylin has no idea that she's gonna see these things.
Anna Nicole Smith has just won a huge chunk of her husband's estate in a court in California, but it's not over. She still has to do battle with his son in a different court in Texas, and she could lose it all.
We have an exclusive interview with Anna Nicole Smith. The celebrity model is the star attraction in a Texas courtroom later this week as she fights to claim a share of her late husband's $1.6 billion estate.
She calls me and she says, well, I'm doing 2020. They were going to give her a chance to set the record straight.
This story will not be a good story by beating up on you, but somewhere in the course of my interview with you, I'm hoping you can tell me what it was about him that you, I suspect, truly loved. It was not his fortune that first attracted you?
Oh, no, sir, not at all. What happened was he paid me enough money not to have to go back to that place I was working at. And he took care of me and my son.
That must have felt good.
That felt wonderful for him to love me and my son like that. He took care of me for many years.
When did he begin broaching the subject of marriage with you?
A week after I met him. I never was gonna marry him until I got myself established. I wanted to make something of myself first before I got married. So people wouldn't think, oh, it was this, money person, and backfired anyway.
You're saying being called a gold digger was your worst fear, and you did everything the other way around to make sure that would not happen?
Right.
And instead, what happened?
It happened.
Top 10 Anna Nicole Smith dating tips. Anna Nicole Smith. Number 3, to convincingly fake excitement during sex, just think about his stock portfolio.
Never mind your heart. We can call an ambulance anytime. Come on, Tiger, what do you say? Yeah.
What was it like when you used to see Jay Leno and Letterman savage you?
After my husband passed, it was really, really hard on me.
I guess they felt that, you had made it on your own, but you wanted to marry, I guess the term is sugar daddies.
That wasn't true.
I mean, well, here's the question. Some would say it wasn't a real marriage. You're telling me tonight, sitting across from me, it was a real marriage?
Yes, can we stop the camera, please?
Okay. Let's give her a moment.
The media thought this was, to some degree, a detective story, like, is she a gold digger or is she not? And they were using those old kind of stereotypes to kind of, rip the lid off this story.
I could have married him a week after we met, or 2 weeks after we met. I could have married him years before, and I didn't. I went out and I made something of myself.
To actually see her and tears and break down and really feel what she was feeling was heartbreaking.
It's been 5 years now since he's passed away. Are you able to get on with your life at all, or looks to me like you're still...
It's hard. I mean, I went through a lot. People, when I gained a lot of weight, people thought I was just partying and doing this and that. I mean, I'm having seizures, I'm having panic attacks, and my husband just died, and people think I don't care.
They didn't for once consider that maybe this was an interesting notion of two people who they're making a transaction here are both lonely and find each other's company not only enjoyable, but have a modicum of love for one another.
This is a pretty incredible story from beginning to end, isn't it?
It surely is.
And it's your life.
My life is like a living soap opera.
Former Playboy playmate Anna Nicole Smith came to court prepared. Armed with photos of her dead husband, she took the stand ready to fight.
When Anna Nicole Smith walked into the trial, the odds were in her favor. There was so much money. Why not give her a little?
And I don't want to call names. I'm not going to call Ms. Marshall a gold digger. I truly am not. How you decide what she is and what she did and why should be based on evidence.
So Pierce's lawyer is Rusty Hardin. He has a reputation for being a great trial lawyer.
She will not be a poor little girl from Mahia, Texas, when the trial's over. He would have been about 86 years old at that time. What attracted you to him?
I felt really bad for him. I felt sorry for him.
Are you the kind of person who takes in stray animals?
If I seen one, I probably would, yes, sir.
Okay.
He may be folksy, but he's also sharp as a tack, and he knows how to cross-examine a witness.
The letter from Pierce Marshall to you about your bills, do you remember that letter?
Yes, sir.
And do you remember that he asked you to look at the date? And the date on that letter was February the 5th, as I recall, was it not?
Can I see the letter again?
Yes, ma'am. Is it still up there?
Really bad with dates.
That's okay.
I don't want to get in trouble.
He wants to get her frustrated. So if she doesn't know dates, he's going to ask her about dates over and over again.
Well, ma'am, that was in September, wasn't it?
I'm bad at dates, I'm guessing.
Was it before or after your depositions in May of 1995?
I don't know the dates, Rusty.
Isn't it true that you don't even know when you last saw your husband before he died?
Yes, Rusty, I am bad with dates.
The more he can draw out of her, the more he can get her frustrated, flummoxed. That only benefits him and his client.
Are you telling me that the last time you saw your husband, you don't even remember how you got to Houston?
Rusty, on an airplane.
Her demeanor in the jury box was not the best.
Have you been taking new acting lessons?
Screw you, Rusty.
She was in over her head. I don't think she really understood how to present herself in a courtroom setting. By the end of the 5 days or so, she'd gone from walking into the courtroom with the jury pretty much on her side to having lost them.
The jury in Houston says former Playboy playmate Anna Nicole Smith is not entitled to 1 red cent from her late husband's multi-million-dollar estate.
There are years of appeals and litigation ahead. And in the meantime, Anna still needs to keep working to pay the bills.
So she makes a decision that could be the best or the worst career move she's ever made.
Quit following me.
She says yes to a reality show.
You're so outrageous.
So there was 2 people. There was Vicki Lynn Marshall, and there was Anna Nicole Smith. I, myself, very fortunate to get to have met and gotten to know Vicki Lynn, but at the same time, see Anna Nicole in action. So it didn't matter if you had a cell phone, a Polaroid camera, any kind of camera, you just yelled at her name, Anna Nicole. And she turned around, it was on the spot. You saw Anna Nicole, it's like, wow.
Anna, look at me!
Wow. And the minute that camera left, it was a whole other person. She was back to Vicki Lynn. And how she did it, I don't know. But whatever she was doing, it was making everybody watch.
In 2001, Anna is offered a show that's pretty new to television. She says yes to a reality show.
2 thumbs up. My dream house.
Reality shows are really pretty much fresh baked at this point. People like the Osbournes.
Rock and roll!
Or people like Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson were doing these shows, revivifying their stardom.
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Okay.
So here comes Anna Nicole Smith into this brave new world of celebrity reality television.
That's my son. Isn't he cute?
Was that who she really was?
See, so...
The first season was quite a rating success.
The luxurious hardware is coming up right now.
Whatever she did, the crazier she got, I think was her ticket. It was all part of her plan.
The ratings started to plummet in the second season, and the show was canceled before the third season really got underway.
And then she kind of disappeared for a little bit. She was out of the spotlight. No one really knew where she was.
She makes a comeback. She gets a contract with Trim Spa, a diet pill. She drops 69 pounds.
As she makes her way back on the scene, she meets the next man in her life, Larry Burkhead.
The first time that I ever encountered Anna was in my hometown of Louisville, Kentucky, working as a photographer at the Kentucky Derby. So I talked to her and we exchanged this kiss, and she's kind of getting handsy.
She was really smitten over him, and she told me that. She actually said, you know, she really liked this guy.
I was asked by Anna's team to photograph Anna at a kids camp, a charity event, that I got to kind of witness Anna hanging out with the kids. It was this stripped down version of this small Texas girl that I really appreciated.
You know, yeah, she talked very highly about Larry.
Next thing I know, I've got my bags packed. I'm on my way out to Anna Nicole's house, moving in with her.
While their relationship is kept out of the public eye, they developed an intimacy.
Anna lived in the house with her son Daniel, her assistant Kim, and her attorney Howard K. Stern. He was kind of her publicist. He was kind of her agent. He was kind of the go-to person for Anna Nicole.
Okay, please have quiet.
Let's be quiet.
In 2006, I met Larry, and we sat down and talked about his life with Anna Nicole.
Howard Stern.
Yeah. That was a problem.
What kind of a problem?
In my opinion, he's in love with Anna, and she's never really returned that affection towards him. He created a lot of problems for us. He would fill her head with ideas, negative thoughts about me, to where she would actually sometimes be suspicious of things.
Did you see evidence of drug use and alcohol use? Did she have a problem?
I saw a lot of things I didn't like, you know. Never once in my relationship with Anna did I see her do any kind of illegal drug. Now, I will say that she sometimes did not take the medication as she was prescribed the medication. Or then she might say, I skipped a day, so I might take 2 today. The night before the American Music Awards was the first time I ever saw Anna have a seizure. I was up with her all night. The next day, I just thought she should cancel it. Then everybody saw what happened next.
I was honored to be on our next performer's new video. And if I ever record an album, I want this guy to produce mine and make me beautiful duets.
First thing you see in the headlines was Anna Nicole on drugs, Anna Nicole on this. I mean, that was what came out of that.
Anna Nicole Smith's wild night at the American Music Awards.
She's just getting over the crazy pox.
What the hell are they putting in that Trim Spa?
Well, we hope she has some people around who care about her and take care of her.
In the midst of all this strange and bad press comes the announcement that her longtime court battle for her elderly husband's estate is going to the Supreme Court.
It was this surreal moment where Anna Nicole Smith, you know, the buxom Playboy pinup girl, winds up in front of Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
This case concerns the claim of petitioner Vicki Lynn Marshall to share in the large fortune of her deceased husband, J. Howard Marshall.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg writes the opinion, and the Supreme Court decides that Anna Nicole Smith can pursue her claims in the lower courts.
There was no end to her court battles. She was in litigation continuously for 11 years.
It was affecting her tremendously, ruining her mental health and her physical health.
street when you were a baby? When you were little? There's our old house. That was our family room window right there. There was my bedroom. They changed the gate. We both really wanted kids, and she always said that she wanted a little girl. And I remember we were laying in the bed, and she took my hand and she put it over on her stomach. She had this big glowing smile on. She brings out the pregnancy test, and she shows me that she's pregnant. And I was being a little bit vocal about medication she was taking and making sure that everything was done right.
She actually told me that she was pregnant and that Larry was the father. And I don't know how it got to where it got.
She was told that he was only after her money, which is a laugh, and that he was a nobody.
She started changing her tone. You're not the father, leave me alone. And then the next thing I know, she's gone, she's taken off to the Bahamas.
True tragedy. Anna Nicole Smith just gave birth to a baby girl, only to have her 20-year-old son, Daniel, die at her maternity bedside.
It's an unimaginable turn of events.
It was almost like another episode of a reality show.
How does this happen?
Anna Nicole and Howard K. Stern have moved to the Bahamas for the last 3 months of her pregnancy.
Meanwhile, her son Daniel's living in LA with Ray Martino, and he's worried about what's going on with his mother.
He was not favorable to what his mother was doing, and he didn't like the people that were around her.
Her friends say when they talk to her, she's rushed off the phone.
So her and I would actually have communication when she was in the Bahamas. The conversations would happen in the middle of the night. And I don't know if she was doing it because she didn't want Howard to hear.
September 7th, 2006 is a huge day in the life of Anna Nicole Smith because that's the day that she gives birth to her daughter. And at her side is Howard K. Stern. He is filming everything that's happening. Entertainment Tonight buys that video for an undisclosed sum.
Anna Nicole Smith gives birth right here tonight before your very eyes.
I'm a baby.
Daniel flies down to meet up with his mom and baby sister in the hospital room where Anna is recovering from a C-section.
On the night of September 9th, Daniel sleeps over in her hospital room in the Bahamas. He's sitting up in a chair that's across from her hospital bed.
Howard K. Stern's in the room. He's in another bed. At 6:20 in the morning, the nurse sees Daniel tending to his mother.
Around 9:30 in the morning, Anna Nicole wakes up. She sees Daniel sleeping by her side. She tries to wake him up, but he doesn't respond. She tries again, but his skin is cold. She realizes he's not breathing. So now she's terrified. She calls out to the medical staff, and they rush in, but it's too late. Daniel's already dead.
The body of Smith's 20-year-old son, Daniel Smith, was found just 3 days after Anna Nicole gave birth to a baby girl in the Bahamas.
Around 7 o'clock LA time, I get a call from Anna screaming and crying on the phone. Daniel's dead.
As tragic as some of the events were, the cameras never stopped rolling. It was all about the cash register ringing.
Just days after Daniel's shocking death, In Touch magazine buys the photograph of Daniel meeting his baby sister for a reported $400,000.
This was now both a family tragedy and a crime investigation.
The chief inspector in the Bahamas coroner's office is calling the death of Anna Nicole Smith's son suspicious.
How can you die in a hospital bed with nobody noticing? How can that have happened when a few hours earlier you were fine?
The cause of death of Daniel Smith still remains unclear.
Finally, the official results come back, and it showed that Daniel died of a lethal combination of Lexapro, Zoloft, and methadone.
Daniel actually had a prescription for Lexapro, and he was taking Zoloft because he was anxious about his flight. But nobody knows where he got the methadone.
Anna's been on methadone for years. So, did he take it secretly? To this day, no one knows how he got that methadone.
So in the wake of this nightmare, there still remains an open question as to who the biological father of Anna Nicole Smith's daughter is.
Howard K. Stern's name is on the birth certificate, so Anna Nicole and Howard decide to go to Larry King, because if you're announcing who the father of your baby is, where else are you gonna go?
Anna and I have been in a relationship, and we love each other, and it's been going on for a very long time.
So you are the father?
Yes, sir.
I actually had to file a paternity suit. I was like, this is the last thing that I want to do. She's just lost her son.
Daniel is buried in the Bahamas, and his mother is devastated.
For whatever reason, she blamed herself for Daniel dying.
It broke her heart when he died. And I think that was the final straw for Anna Nicole.
To help her through her grief, Anna's friend, Dr. Christine Eroshevich, flies down to the Bahamas. She happens to be a psychiatrist who has the authority to write prescriptions. And she writes a lot of prescriptions.
Dr. Eroshevich writes Anna a new prescription to help her sleep at night.
Anna's new drug of choice is chlorohydrate. But Anna, instead of taking the prescribed dose, she would sometimes just pick up the bottle and chug it. This new drug of choice was extremely dangerous, and Anna Nicole Smith didn't know how dangerous it was.
The cause of Daniel Smith's death has not yet
The
been
Chief
determined.
Inspector's Office is calling the death of Anna Nicole Smith's son suspicious.
They said when you lose a child, you always have one foot on earth and one foot in heaven.
Anna Nicole is completely devastated by the loss of her son, Daniel. But there's kind of a bright spot.
Bahamians have a very big heart, very friendly. So Anna had a whole support group, and that worked out really well.
She befriends a local Bahamian couple, Brigitte Nevin and King Eric Gibson. He's a local musician and celebrity.
We would take people out fishing. And then one day, a guy came and said, why don't you take Anna Nicole fishing? And so that's how I met Anna Nicole. And so from then on, then she decided to call King Eric Daddy and called me Mommy, and then they were just part of the family.
I think she kind of looked at Brigitte kind of like a motherly type figure because she was calming and she was spiritual.
She was attracted to families. Where there was a family, because she didn't have that.
Anna adores this couple, and she loves being on the open sea, far away from the paparazzi.
She just loved to be on the boat. She was totally different. She was just like being free.
She stops talking about wanting to die and starts thinking about the future. She actually books a modeling gig and looks into buying a boat.
Howard finds a boat for them to buy in Florida, so he and Anna go to pick it up. Their friends Bridget and King Eric will help them drive it back to the Bahamas.
So Anna Nicole Smith leaves the Bahamas with a whole entourage, Howard K. Stern, her bodyguard, and Dr. Eroshevich. They leave the baby with the nanny.
Before she leaves the Bahamas, Anna gets a shot of HGH and B12 on her left side. She's been doing this for a while to maintain her weight.
On the plane, her left side starts to hurt. By the time she gets to the hotel, she's starting to feel really sick. She has a fever of 105.
105 fever for an adult is deadly. Everyone in the entourage, they're all telling her she should go to the hospital. And Anna says no, she's not going to the hospital. And here's the thing, they actually listened to her.
The fact that someone didn't take her to the hospital was really no surprise to me because she was scared the press would find out she was there. And then it would turn into some big headline that she didn't want any of that.
Over the next 3 days, Anna is pretty sick. She's not eating, she's sleeping a lot. And the people with her are starting to notice some strange smell coming from her.
It showed me that, that the side of her body was infected. It looked infected. It was different colors and it was swollen.
On the third day, Howard finds her in a confused state, sitting in the empty bathtub. That night, Dr. Ereshevich tells Anna she's got to get back to LA, but Anna doesn't want her to go.
He was begging her to stay. She was saying that she didn't know she could make it.
The morning of February 8th, Anna Nicole is very weak.
At around noon, Howard K. Stern decides he's going to keep his appointment to see the boat, even though Anna's too sick to go with him. Taz and Brigitte stays with her.
After about an hour, Taz goes in where Anna Nicole is. She calls her husband, Big Mo, Anna's bodyguard.
Well, Brigitte hears this conversation, and she's excited. She thinks her friend is finally awake and they can visit.
I walked over and I realized there was something wrong with Anna. She looked like she was sleeping, but I realized that she wasn't breathing. There was no chest movement, and then it all exploded.
So Bridget tells Taz to call 911.
What happens next is unbelievable. Taz doesn't call 911, she calls Mo. Mo doesn't call 911, he calls Howard. And Howard doesn't call 911. 38 minutes go by before anyone calls 911. All the while, Taz is desperately trying to resuscitate Anna.
Finally, Mo arrives at the hotel, and once he gets there, he calls 911.
Hello, Fire Rescue. Hi, this is Seminole Police. If you can please respond to the Hard Rock, room 607. It's going to be a reference to a white female. She's not breathing and she's not responsive. She's actually Anna Nicole Smith.
We arrived on scene, and the paramedics went to work on the subject, and I tried to find out what exactly happened prior to her being found unconscious. And then Howard showed up, and Howard went into just a total frenzy. He was pacing. He told me he was calling a doctor in California.
Howard is calling Dr. Ereshevich, who confirms that Anna was on 10 different medications, all of which Ereshevich prescribed, and some were not written in Anna's name. Meanwhile, the paramedics are still working on Anna.
I just started screaming her name. I asked her, I said, baby girl, if you got anything in you, please come back. Danny Lynn needs you. I said, forget it, I need you. We all need you.
And I could feel her energy like giving me a hug. And then she was gone, and I knew she wouldn't be back.
After we had done everything we could there, we transported her to Memorial Regional Hospital.
When the ambulance gets to Memorial Regional Hospital, there is a full-on media blitz, cameras rolling everywhere.
We are waiting to hear some word during a press conference. We're told that press conference might not happen.
It was quite a scene. My guys were being filmed as they were taking the subject out of the rescue truck and wheeling her into the emergency room.
At 2:49 this afternoon, we were advised by hospital personnel that Anna Nicole Smith had died.
Anna Nicole Smith is pronounced dead at 2:49 p.m.
It's just confirmed that Anna Nicole Smith has died. She collapsed at a Florida hotel. She was 39 years old.
It takes months before the police investigation is finished. The question of why no one called 911 sooner is never fully answered.
And when the autopsy is released, it is shocking.
Things that she accomplished are all, encompassed in this storage unit right here.
Anna was a really beautiful person, good heart.
Anna understood how to live life with a free spirit that a lot of people didn't understand.
I was inspired to write a song about Anna Nicole Smith.
You're my Anna, Anna Nicole. Hope that where you are never gets cold.
She was really that very tragic, mythological blonde.
She remains at the center, a tragic figure. There are very, very few people coming to her defense. There's nobody who says, stop treating that woman that way, stop talking about that woman that way.
13 years that she's been gone, 2007, and we're still talking about this, and it still hurts the same way like it was yesterday.
If I had the opportunity to go back in time, I would tell her I love her.
Every single thing I touch has a story to it. And it's tough. This is, what's left of Anna. Danlin has no idea that she's gonna see these things. All this is a surprise. There's no rhyme or reason to my packing. She has a big heart like her mom had, and I think that she could appreciate these things. Do you know what this even is? This is stuff that I've had for you for like a long time. You wanna see it? All right, okay, cool. This. There you are with your mommy. When you talk about Anna Nicole, there were a lot of happy moments for her. There was a lot of highs before there was a lot of lows. Let's see, this was a Blondie t-shirt. We went on a date. Who's that cool guy?
Please stop. Like I already told you before, please stop.
She thought I was cool. Anna should be remembered as this larger-than-life figure that was really a caring, giving person, a beautiful lady who loved her fans and loved her family. That is a book that your mom had. She swore no one ever could touch that. Not even I could touch that. That is pictures of your ultrasound. Anna got to live her dream. She wanted to be a star. She wanted to be a mother. And Danny Lynn is her legacy. That's what lives on from Anna.
And we should note tonight that the case for J. Howard Marshall's estate didn't get resolved until 2019.
That's right. And after all those years, Anna Nicole's estate was awarded nothing from the courts. That's our program for tonight. I'm Amy Robach.
And I'm David Muir. From all of us here at 2020 and ABC News, thanks for watching. Good night.